Hello. I don't know who should be hosting this. I'm trying here. I've got so many spinning plates operating, Goldenboy, and you refuse to do the hosting.
Well, because I think it's awkward. It's like you're counting me down to then me talking to you.
Yeah, no, that's the way it would normally go. There's somebody producing, they count it down, and then you begin. Here's
how I think we should do it. Every episode, new host.
One of us. Yeah, just whoever's channel it happens to be run on at the time.
No, that doesn't matter.
Just random. Just flip a coin.
All that matters is that we just do it. Thank you.
Do you remember Through the Grapevine?
No, we're not live. We're
recording live.
What a beautiful opening.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Welcome to the Foreheads podcast.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of thing you'll get all the time.
Gaming.
I used to do some hosting back in the day.
He just interrupted his Goldenboys.
I used to do some hosting.
What did
you ever watch Through the Grapevine, Goldenboy?
Oh, God, I've removed that from my memory. Yeah, you used to host that.
I used to be a fantastic host.
Yeah, I mean, that couldn't have sounded like the most boring podcast in the world, though.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Through the Grapevine.
Do you not enjoy grapes?
Oh, I love grapes, but I fail to see how like that is just a compelling Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah. It's not even like about wine or anything. It's just about Overwatch.
Yeah, because when I say the Grapevine, I think it's either going to be a podcast about rumors. Okay. Like, and here's the thing. It could be any kind of rumor. It doesn't have to be like Overwatch rumors or a podcast about wine, like Johnny said.
Can we pull up the announcement video?
What announcement video? The announcement video for a podcast that wasn't this podcast.
Yeah.
You want Jamie to pull up the announcement video for Through the Grapevine.
It wasn't even an announcement video. It was just a video.
I don't even know where I find it
typically
anymore.
What a video is, Johnny.
How do we do it?
A video is
Through the Grapevine.
A video.
Did you upload it to your channel?
Do you know what? I don't know where I uploaded it. I don't know where you'd even find it. It was on Twitter somewhere. Twitter, Sideshow. I don't know. I'll be Jamie for this episode. I'll try and find things.
Well, I'm pulling
the
it up
best
right
part
now.
is going to be when you describe this to our audio listeners.
Oh, don't worry. I found it. I found it. Here we go.
So, wait, before we go on, let's talk about the topics that we have on the docket tonight.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you're here and you want the best Overwatch podcast from four of the greatest minds in Overwatch League, in the Overwatch community, this is not it. The topics of discussion tonight are sushi, why LA buy into the healthy living bullshit.
It's not even Graham. Like, it's not even properly spelled out.
Yeah, that's actually how it was spelled out. Why LA buy into the healthy living. There you go. And then gaming. And then classic WoW. Wait, and these are going to be some good topics here. The rise of machine learning, future city planning, and to end the topic with a humdinger, and I'd be shocked if we get through all these topics, the U.S. bred lol.
The U.S. bred lol.
I can some topics to talk about.
At the same time as well, this is while you're talking about this, I've just been playing the intro to the Through the Grapevine video. I've just been it's actually given up. It won't even play the media anymore.
I can't even see this. We didn't think about the logistics of this.
It doesn't matter. The people at home can see this. And that's
but I can't react to it.
No, you can't react to it.
Put it in our chat. So
it's too late. Let's talk about number one, most important item on this list, huh?
Okay, what is the most important item
sushi. Today, I went to a little farmer's market across the road, roughly around about an hour and a half ago. I woke up about 4 p.m. today. I walked over to the farmer's market.
You woke up at 4 p.m.?
4 p.m., yeah. They make sushi, pretty fresh sushi at this new place. And it's not really too busy. But I was chewing it up.
At 4 p.m., they make sushi fresh.
No, they make sushi all day.
Okay.
But I just went over there.
Specifically at 4 p.m. Bren syncs up his circadian rhythm to when the most fresh sushi times are around where he lives.
Isn't sushi done live? Like, it's not supposed to be done like the same day. It's supposed to be done like live, instantaneously.
What?
Why
As
would
in
the
they
Apollo?
catch it in front of you and slice it up?
No, but
I mean,
they roll it, you know, once you.
But the rolling isn't
order
what
it.
makes sushi fresh or not. It's when it was caught versus when you eat it. That's what makes it fresh.
Exactly.
So why isn't it pre-roll at restaurants if it doesn't matter?
I don't think it does. I think it's just a preparation thing. It's just you
because,
buying
like,
into
they put
it.
it in a fridge, you know, and then they like keep it cool. I'm assuming. I mean, honestly, none of us are going to ever own a restaurant.
It's true.
No, I'm just
but-
saying, why do they prepare the sushi at the restaurant if you are arguing that pre-rolled
Probably because-
is good?
So I don't claim to be a sushi chef. I
You
don't-
aren't a sushi chef.
but
That would be quite the claim.
but I imagine it's because you don't just want to make like 100 spicy tuna rolls in case you don't sell 100. You want to make the orders as they come up. It doesn't take too long to prep it.
But then
Okay,
that assumes that it's easier to keep fish than it is to keep sushi rolls. Because otherwise, I mean, you got to keep the fish if you don't sell the fish. You got to keep the sushi if you don't sell the sushi.
But I was watching a documentary on it, and what they do is that they plan out what fish they need for the day based on what they have, and then if any doesn't get ate, then they leave it later for like fermenting and stuff for used in other dishes. So it's
Johnny,
like,
have you ever tried that fermented fish that's like big in Sweden? What do they call that? Like the absolute
Actually, I haven't.
wretched fish.
Actually, I haven't. Surströmming?
Yeah, surströmming.
Yeah, but I actually haven't because I lived on the west coast. I probably should have because I come from a fishing village. But I never tried it because I think it's more popular in the north of Sweden.
Those
Something like
filthy
that, 'cause
northerners.
It's like canned fish, right?
Well, no,
But-
it's not. It's not just canned fish. Like tuna is canned fish. That's delicious. This is like canned fermented 30-year-old fish or something.
Okay,
isn't
hold
it?
on. You say
It's not 30
tuna.
years old.
It's something like that.
It's
You
just
say
a marinade
tuna-
that smells like garbage.
You said tuna's delicious.
Yeah.
In what way do you prepare for a tuna fish sandwich?
Prepare? I don't have
Do
to do a full body cleanse or something before I eat a
No,
tuna sandwich.
no. Obviously, I'm not asking you to go out there and freaking get a face scrub. I'm saying, like, I had a tuna fish sandwich today. I'm just curious, like, what do the Europeans and the Brits do? You know, regarding a tuna fish sandwich. Like,
What do you mean by
prepare
do?
a
Is there a
sandwich?
ritual in the US that you're
Do you
supposed
put
to do?
mayo?
No,
We put
but-
mayo on our sandwich.
Yeah, I
Is that
put
what you guys do too?
tuna
Oh.
mayo is a classic though.
Yeah. Tuna mayo.
Okay,
Sometimes sweet
because-
corn in there as well.
Red
I mean-
onions.
Everyone look at the
Yeah,
link
onions.
I've posted.
Red
of-
onions.
So the Icelandic people, they eat hakar, which is a fermented shark, right?
Hmm.
The national dish of Iceland. I remember reading about this, but the reason it was like is because it's fermented the particular fermentation process and hung to dry for 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, that sounds like quite a long time.
So
A very
by the
long
end of
time.
it, you're just not even eating food; you're eating bacteria.
Look at this consumption. Those new to it may gag involuntarily on the first attempt to eat it because of the high ammonia content.
Wow.
That's
Chef
brutal.
Anthony Bourdain described fermented shark as the single worst, most disgusting and terrible tasting thing he has ever eaten.
Damn. Son.
Okay, but why are these things even eaten in
Hold
places?
on. I got a good one. This is actually Chef Gordon Ramsay challenged James May to sample 3 delicacies: Laotian snake whiskey, bull penis, and fermented shark. So that was literally like its company in a
Wow.
dish.
Josh,
Was
Oh
snake,
my dude!
bull
Snake wine.
and
Snake
fermented
wine is an
Snake
alcoholic
whiskey.
beverage produced by infusing whole snakes in rice wine or
dude,
grain
I've
alcohol.
had that.
You've had it?
I've had that.
What do you mean?
Yes. Where the fuck did I buy it from?
You probably got.
Dude, I've
Yeah,
had
hammered.
this.
Just
That's
the
why you don't
local
remember it.
corner shop.
No.
Just the local corner shop found
When
it.
I was younger, when I was like 14 and like traveling around Southeast Asia.
Okay, and you had snake whiskey.
Yeah.
But why is
You
it
were
particularly
14?
bad?
Traveling through Southeast Asia and you're alive? Impressive. Because I would have assumed you'd gotten kidnapped or sold.
I have so many stories from my travels.
What
in
a
Southeast
rabbit
Asia.
hole this is.
There's
Yeah.
so many. But that's crazy. So that's like a blast from the past.
Well, yeah, I mean,
other-
it's not a
other
blast from the past for any of
comparisons.
us.
Just so you know, other comparisons for this shark: smells of urine.
Yeah.
That one is
Oh my.
that one's rough. Andrew Zimmern, who's actually known for his Travel Channel show Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern,
You don't
actually said that the fermented shark was some of the most horrific things I've ever breathed in my life.
Did you
but
think
said it tasted much better than it smelled?
Did you think the snake wine was terrible then, Bren?
Yeah.
Wait, you were 14 and just getting wankered on snake wine.
I don't
Where in the
condone.
world were you that you were just getting hammered as a 14-year-old on what's considered a delicacy in Southeast Asia?
Again, I don't condone underage drinking, but when
was it
Southeast
underage?
Asia-
Depends where you were, I suppose. I mean, it's not
I don't
underage
know.
if you're in certain countries.
Let's have a look. Drinking age in
Southeast Asia.
Bali is 21 years of age, so I was not legally able to drink.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bren broke the law.
Whoops.
Bren the broken law.
But yeah,
A similar drink is made with geckos or seahorses rather than snakes.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is that's just messed up.
I'm not saying
No.
I got wankered on it.
Dude,
I'm saying,
these pictures are horrible.
I'm saying I had a bit of a taste of it. It wasn't very nice.
Well,
We're
of
making
course
our
they're
listeners
horrible.
throw up on the first episode of.
I just think it's like crazy. Like someone had to think of it, right? Like someone's like, "Yo, dog." I wanna
Bren
get
knows some
hammered,
wild
bro.
shit. I
I
wouldn't
wanna-
be surprised what people in the past came up with.
Yeah,
If
like
you
they're
have
like,
some
yo, I want to
creativity
get
to it.
hammered. I want to get turned up. Caveman tells his like freaking Fred Flintstone tells Barney Rubble, I want to get turned. And then Barney's like, gee, Fred, why don't we stick some snakes in a bowl and make it into wine?
I don't know whether that's exactly how it went down.
Fred's like, you got a good idea there, Bonnie.
Have any of you seen the Disney Robin Hood movie?
No.
The Disney
Robin Hood, where the Robin Hood is a fox and he's like the Prince John's the lion. Do you remember Prince John's little snake boy, Sir Hiss? Sir Hiss is like his sidekick the whole time.
Listen, we're not into that furry shit, right, John?
No. There's a scene, right? There's a scene where he plunges the snake into a barrel of beer. And now all I'm going to think of whenever I rewatch that movie is he's going to get trapped in there and be made into snake wine, and Bren's going to eat it as a 14-year-old.
Oh, yes, the beer turning into wine.
Well, that's the
snake beer.
classic. Yeah, I mean, they said snake whiskey, snake wine, snake beer. Is there a
Snake
difference?
beer doesn't sound too shabby.
Why?
What do you?
The hops wouldn't make a difference.
Different
Like,
tastes,
you're
different
literally-
contrasts of taste,
No.
flavors.
I'll tell
Why
you
does
what.
wine sound nasty and beer doesn't?
Because
You know, the more
wine
you
has a bit
say
of like
it,
a
actually-
sour kind of, dry, like that kind of.
What was that noise again?
I don't know.
The more you
Beer
say
is a
it
bit
though
hoppy,
out loud,
like poof.
the more you say it out loud, it actually makes sense.
No, I don't think it does at all.
I'm just saying, people in the past, I'm not surprised that they were like, "Oh, let's stick a
No,
snake into."
Think about it like
our
this,
alcohol."
right? Like if I'm drinking snake beer, right? It's the acidity is going to cover like all of that. I mean, imagine if you had to drink beer with no hops, right? With none of that, with none of the bubbly, ness of it all.
Are you a brewer? Because I'm pretty sure you don't get bubbliness from hops. The hops are the
I don't know.
flavor. And that's like
I don't know. Look, dog. I don't know. Honestly, all I'm saying is, like, the what do they call it? The carbonation of the beer or whatever.
Comes from the yeast of it.
There you go. Bren just looked it up. All right, so
No, I know it. I used to dabble in brewing.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
No, you didn't. When did you dabble
Wait,
in
does-
brewing?
Does
When I was
yeast
like
create
when I was like
carbonation?
17.
When you were 17, you would brew beers.
Yeah,
So
my
you were
uncle in
14 in Southeast Asia getting hammered off of snake wine, and then you're 17
I
brewing.
never said I was getting hammered. I said I tried it.
Okay. Right. But
seen
when are
you
you
drink,
brewing
Brent.
beers at the age of 17?
Because I fancied getting into it as like a hobby.
Did you say your uncle was into it?
Yeah, my uncle's deep into it. Yeah.
Deep into it.
He's deep into the home brewing
the
business.
homebrew game.
Mm,
Yeah,
So all
he's-
we got from this episode is Bren just underage drinking.
essentially. Yeah.
I'm not getting drunk. I'm just a little
But
taste.
that's what I'm saying, though. If I would have snake beer over snake wine because the idea of like just the wine sliding down my gullet
Uh
wouldn't be very delectable.
huh.
I
Talking
do
about
think-
snake wine, let's talk about snake oil and LA buying into the healthy living bullshit.
Whoa, what an unreal
Whoa.
segue.
I had something I wanted to add to this point though.
Go on,
Hey,
Bren.
didn't you get sushi?
Yeah, but what was the point I was going to make?
That was the whole point
So-
of this.
What I wanted to talk about was the fucking Icelandic people.
Okay.
Right? To go back to this, because like,
Let's not put off a whole,
who were the first people who went to Iceland, and why did they stay there?
Because it was
the
what?
Vikings.
Are you serious? What an achievement to just be the first to go to an island and then claim it.
Yeah, sure, but like, how do people even live there? Like, is there enough food? I don't think so.
Fish.
What do you mean? Is there enough
No,
food?
but like, and also like, because like, I'm looking at this fermented shark, and I'm like, wow, the first Icelandic people, this is what they had to live off. This is how they survived.
No,
Was
I don't
hanging
think
up
that-
sharks
I think they came
for
up
5
with.
months. This is one of their food sources that they had to
Wait.
save up.
Does it say that?
I know. I think he's completely making that up. I mean, it might have a sliver of truth behind it because a lot of cured meats are to preserve them, right? And it's not going to be fishing season all year round. I mean, sometimes you won't be able to sustain
But
yourself by fishing every single day.
No disrespect to the Icelandic people, but
Hafficle's
if you-
listening.
if you have to live somewhere where you have to hang up a shark to survive and eat it 5 months later, I don't think you should be living there. I don't think that's habitable.
Okay. So in that same respect, Peru ate guinea pigs because there were no other options.
But that's like good shit, right?
Mate, South Korea ate dogs for the longest time
Mm.
because they just had to, because they had no other food sources.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about you get off
they
your
got
high horse
ruined.
and your privilege, your British privilege? Okay, because we get it. Nation was founded and they had tea and crumpets available right away.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah. I mean,
they
it's-
had it available for you.
What would you?
You know?
Sorry, Bren. What would you do if you were going to starve to death? Your advice to these people is just move, forehead. Just travel away.
I mean, you survive, and you. So if I was there and I was like, oh bloody hell, gotta eat this fish to survive, right?
yeah.
In like 5 months' time, I would I'd save up my strength and get ready for a voyage back to
Okay.
society.
Back to where? Where are you going?
What?
Go to like England or something.
Go to England. All right. What are you going to take to be able to sustain you on the trip?
Fermented fish.
Are you going to take all of that fermented fish? That'll
Well,
take
a lot
5
of it.
months.
The stuff that just that's gonna last, you know, that you can survive off.
Mm. And you're going to eat
So your
fermented
idea-
shark the entire time.
I don't know.
Your
I'm not.
idea is to move.
Yeah,
but
eventually
still eat
you-
the fermented fish.
Yeah, to survive until you don't have to eat it. I mean, maybe they love it. I mean, I've never tried Carl, this fermented shark. Might enjoy it. Probably won't, but I might.
Keep an open mind.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too
I
close-minded.
think it was quite an enjoyable lifestyle because, like, when I grew up and I started fishing
in 13th century Iceland.
No, but let me get there. I'm just saying, when I grew up and I started fishing in the 20th century. Is that it? I said 19th. No, no. What? Math.
I mean, no, yeah, it was the 20th century, but also, why are you saying that as if it was like back in the 20th century? That was only 20
Context.
years ago.
Provide context.
Right, but I mean, you've only lived in 2 centuries. It's
I'm
not like
sorry.
the early 20th you were fishing.
No, I'm just
So we
kidding.
know
That's
of.
what I'm saying
Yeah.
is,
So we know.
maybe I should describe it as decade. What decade was I born in, Joshua?
The 90s. You were born in the 90s. Unless I've been
You just call
brutally
it 90s
deceived.
decade.
Yes, the 1990s. What do you
Back
want?
in the 90s
Alright,
when you were
So,
fishing.
point being, when I grew up, so much of the fish was gone already.
So you lived in a fishing village that didn't have fish.
No,
mean-
but we had
What the hell
fish.
did they do?
No, we had fish. No, let me get there. We had fish, okay?
Okay.
But I'm just saying that way back, there was way more fish because they weren't as efficient in fishing.
Oh, wait
So-
there. Wait a fucking tickety second, though. What you're describing is overfishing, right? But the Industrial Revolution ushering in a wave of overfishing does not mean that there was always more and more fish the further back you go. Like, there wasn't that much different amounts of fish in the 13th and the 10th century, presumably, because
But I'm only 22
fish
years
populations just balance themselves out unless you massively overfish. But like when they were first establishing Iceland, there wasn't considerably more fish than there was at the beginning of the 19th century.
Speaking of
20th century.
No, but I
actually
didn't
have
live
the
at the
origins.
beginning.
I have
the
the origins
origins
of Iceland right here, just
Okay.
so you guys know. Apparently, a Swedish Viking explorer, Garor
My man.
Varvarsson, which looks a lot like Larson, was the first to circumnavigate Iceland in 870 and establish that it was an island. He stayed over winter and built a house in Husavik. Garor departed the following summer, but one of his men, not furry, decided to stay behind with not one, but 2 slaves.
No way. That's awesome.
Not furry settled in what is now known as Not Faravik.
No way, no, come the
slaves-
fuck on. There is no way a Swedish explorer settled down and the place was called Not Far a Vic. It's like, oh, where are you headed to? Oh, it's not that far a Vic. It's,
Well, no,
it's
no,
only
you-
just over there.
No, you freaking dingus. His name is Not Fari. So it's
As
not
in literally
Faravik.
not far.
Well, I'm
I
more
guess
interested
so.
in the slavery
And
aspect.
hold on. And
this story.
What?
became the first permanent residence of Iceland. So it was basically Three's Company, Iceland edition.
okay,
What?
wow.
I didn't
Where is-
realize that
where
the
is
Swedes
this
kept
Swedish
slaves.
guy? Where's this Swedish guy? I want to subscribe to his Patreon.
Not Fari.
I'm
was
not
a
sure.
crew member who escaped his
I
master.
can't spell that. Anyway, go on,
So
man.
he escaped his master.
He was a slave.
Oh.
And may have become the first permanent resident of Iceland in the 9th century.
That's pretty dope.
That's
Wow.
dope. Yeah, it's like but that's the thing. It actually answers Bren's question because your boy was like, yo, I'd rather bounce from this really bad situation and have to tough it out in this thing that I really don't know or understand
Yeah.
and eat
Wow.
fermented shark.
Inspirational is what they call that.
Bro, he's a
Whoa.
story. Write a book about him.
Mm.
This Wikipedia page isn't enough.
On Netflix.
So can you- I'm curious about the slavery back then. What was going on then?
I don't think he was a slaver. I think that he was a slave.
And he escaped with
And then-
2 other
and then
slaves.
He escaped with 2. Now, here's the thing, though. This is important information. Were they both women? Was one a man and one a woman?
Is that important
What,
information?
what are you trying to figure out
because
here?
then it's like, how does it work? You know what I mean? Because like, if
Do you want us to
like, there's-
explain to you
there's
where
only 3
babies come from?
No, you fucking dumbass. What I'm saying is,
Are you and Cynthia looking to start a family and you want us to explain how to
No.
do it?
how did they come to the agreement? It's like one like, all right, I bang, and then we reproduce, and then you watch, or hey, if it's 2 women, it's like, hey, what if we do this in a 3-way? Knock 2 birds with 1 stone. Start working on this fermented shark.
That was the second priority.
Just saying.
I think they might have tried to expand the population by immigration before
Yeah.
simply thinking, well, this is it. There's the 3 of us. We've got a large responsibility. That sometime in the future, they're going to call this place Iceland, and everyone is going to be descended from us 3. I don't think that's how it went.
Why? No, because that's the thing. They're slaves. So how are they going to get this information out to people?
Well,
how
I-
are they going to? What? There wasn't a.
No,
a
some
two-way,
dude
there
went
wasn't a-
back. The guy who discovered everything. What's his name? Harling Dorgan.
Yeah, that was the one.
He went there, lived there for a winter, and went back in the summer. Didn't he?
Incredibly disrespectful to Swedish names.
Well,
I also
okay,
don't think that it was a case of them just stumbling across an island and being like, oh, well, that happened to be there. Like, they just...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. The Norwegian Norse chieftain Ingolfur Arneson. I'm Puerto Rican, so this is all foreign to me. Built his homestead in present-day Reykjavik in 874, and Ingolfur was followed by many other immigrant settlers, largely Scandinavians and their thralls. What's a thrall? I don't know what
Family.
That's the orc in World of Warcraft.
Oh, I love that.
Oh no! A thrall is from the Old Norse, meaning a prael, meaning a person who is in bondage or serfdom.
Yeah, a thrall.
Oh, really?
Oh my god, that's so
Sounds-
sick!
That's
Because
so-
the thrall in World of
Bondage.
Warcraft was a slave
Okay.
for the humans who broke free and created the orc faction
Oh, there you go.
and built Orgrimmar. So he's
All right.
name
So
is
that moves
Thrall.
us on to our next topic. Classic WoW, please.
We've
Yeah.
been skipping, huh? We've been skipping some
I mean, let's
stuff.
be honest here. LA will always buy into the healthy living bullshit because
Why are you
LA.
jumping back to this?
and
Topic?
and
I don't
and and
understand.
our next topic is gaming, but at this point we've already lost all of our listeners.
No.
Yeah.
Well, do you
Yeah.
have any gaming stuff to talk about?
Not-
I was
not
on
really.
vacation this weekend. I don't know what happened.
There's not much that's going on in the world of gaming these days.
I mean,
It's all
that's-
pretty much the
that's
same.
factually untrue, but
I feel like because we work with the Overwatch League, we're kind of like isolated, like
No.
esports. No, because like I was super into like Dota 2, CS:GO. I mean, I worked those tournaments, and then I got into Overwatch, and I'm just like lost sense of everything that's going on, and I'm just
I spent all day today watching 3-year-old CS:GO VODs.
fair. I saw that they're doing an event in Birmingham. Like, how did we go from like Katowice and Jönköping?
Yeah. Watch what you're about to
What
say.
do you mean?
What do
To
you mean?
Birmingham?
What's wrong with Birmingham?
Birmingham?
I don't know. It
Birmingham?
sounds like it.
The fuck is wrong with Birmingham?
DreamHack had an event in Las Vegas. They're having an event in Dallas, and then
Yeah.
just you said like, let's go to Birmingham.
They did a Dota event in Birmingham as well.
I just didn't know that Birmingham had a big esports demographic.
I don't think it does. I don't think. I
It's
don't
just
think
a
that's.
central location in the UK for which
Oh.
people can travel to. It's like the most central you can
Oh.
get. Like it's
Oh.
really easy to get to. The trains run to it pretty nicely. It's got a big convention center. The
I think it's
NEC.
like the second or third largest city as well, isn't it?
yeah.
after
like
London
it's
and
just a
maybe
good city
Manchester.
to run an event out of.
Oh,
Mhm.
I had no
Is it
idea.
cheaper than London?
Oh,
Yeah.
way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Unbelievably cheaper. As soon as you
Ah.
get
It's like-
outside of
and it's-
London, it's like a new country.
It's like an
Everything's
hour
half
to
the
get
price.
to it from London. It's an hour to get to it from where I live in Gloucester, which is on the other side. Like So
Past the
it's
wall.
it's not easy. Well, no,
Wow.
actually.
The
Yes,
West
you are
End.
big brains. I see.
Well, I mean, considering that I am the only non-Overwatch League employee here,
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Nate Nanzer's going to Epic Games.
Oh yeah,
He
I
is.
actually forgot that happened.
That happened. Your boss is literally going from one place to another.
Yeah, I forgot. I mean, it doesn't.
Impressive.
I don't know whether it affects my my day to day. So
I don't
we'll-
think
we'll
it.
see.
I don't think it will.
Probably not. I've been thinking about this over the sort of the overarching view, if you will, of the esports scene and the
Yeah.
ramifications of this move.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Because
Yes. Mm.
Fortnite was just shitting the bed when it came to esports. Agree or disagree, Alex? You can hold your tongue. I realize you're still trying to get paid, but everyone else, you can
I
chime in
haven't watched
whenever.
any. I don't know.
Fortnite, you know,
watch your friend commentate. Wow, man.
I've been watching a lot of Fortnite esports, and there's some stuff they're doing very, very wrong, and it was kind of dragging the entire esports scene down. I think it probably burning a lot of sponsors out
All right,
if they kept it going.
Give me an example.
Production issues. Last time I
That's-
watched, they were
That's a
pulling
big
up
blanket statement.
streams. Okay, well, the production quality is a lot lower than it should be. The formats for Fortnite have been kind of whack. They keep bringing out balance updates before tournaments go live, so it's clear competitive integrity isn't on their list.
But that's their whole MO, though. I mean, they were very
Oh, yeah,
clear
it
about
is.
it. They've never said that they weren't going to do it. They've always been pretty upfront that like they will release
Yeah,
updates and they will like continue to iterate on the game, because at the end of the day, it is a living, breathing product that continues to do insanely well. So
I think that makes a lot of sense for what Fortnite does, right? They're using esports to market it to the casual player base. But
Mhm.
in terms of esports as a whole, it does drag it down for the entire industry as a whole.
Did
Because
the
it's,
streamers like it?
no, not really. From what I've gathered, there's a lot of the streamers are constantly
So
tweeting
what
their
you're saying is
dissatisfaction.
that the introduction of the random patches were good for the casual players, but it was
Well, yeah,
bad
'cause they
PR
wouldn't
because
use
the
the-
streamers didn't like it.
Sure, but they also want to use the patches and their esports as like a marketing tool, as an advertisement for these new patches.
Yeah, but if the
which
marketing
makes
is
complete
bad
sense.
marketing from
Yeah.
them doing random patches,
So I would
they should
say,
just cater to the big streamers. In my
But
opinion.
to
It's
go
good for
back to
PR.
my earlier point about Nate,
yeah, go to
real
your
quick,
point. Go to your point.
is that him moving over, if he can do to Fortnite what he did for the Overwatch League and has built up this foundation of a really rock solid product that's only going to get better and better, then fuck yeah, go for it. It's only going to mean good things, I think, for esports as a whole. And also, I wish Nate very well. Hopefully, he has a lot of fun over there in Epic.
Yeah.
Starts getting those epic Fortnite Royale wins.
He's gonna have
So
fun
did it
when he
say
retires and he can just swim around in a bathtub full of gold. I think.
Yeah.
Like Scrooge McDuck.
Exactly.
No, so all right. So
Does that make us the ducklings?
I'd happily be Nate Nance's little duckling.
No, but weren't they like 3 ducklings or something?
yeah, there were.
I've no idea.
What was the name of that show? It was not DuckTales.
Was it not
was,
just Scrooge McDuck or something?
No.
Duck and Duck.
Scrooge McDuck. I mean, I have to find the
Huey,
show.
Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
What?
What was the name of the
Yeah.
show that he was in?
Duck Family.
No.
Wikipedia, dude.
Shut down. Maybe it was
Oh.
called Duck Family in Sweden.
Oh my god, I looked up the ancestors of the duck family. Ancestors, pintail duck. First generation, humperdinck duck. Grandma duck. Second
You know what? I
generation,
think it was.
Quackmore duck. Hortense McDuck. Daphne duck. Ader duck. Lulubelle loon. Sheriff Dan duck.
Yeah, it was DuckTales. It was DuckTales.
I'm
That's
lost
what
in
it
the
was.
sauce
Sorry.
at this point. What's going on?
DuckTales.
God.
That was a good show, man. DuckTales was my jam. I love that.
What's happening?
I don't know what DuckTales
Anyway.
is. I only know Scrooge McDuck from the GIF where he jumps into the gold.
Yeah, and the show was called DuckTales. Yo, all right. If you're
Okay.
gonna live in this country, there's some things you just gotta culture yourself.
Yeah, people have been
Right.
telling me that since I moved here, and I have not. So
But like,
It's funny.
try, dude. Just try. It's not hard.
you think I should start with DuckTales?
Hell yeah, dude. I think everyone would appreciate it. It would appreciate your desire to learn about quality American TV. Anyway, moving on. What I was gonna say about Nate and going to Epic and the Overwatch League and stuff. So I agree with you, Bren, that what Nate did for the Overwatch League and what that whole team did, really getting Team 4 and everyone really to be more competitively focused, right? Or building things for competitive, like spectator tools and stuff like that, which, by the way, Epic has done. Because the spectating tool in Fortnite has made leaps and bounds,
Mhm.
without a doubt. I mean, like, from where it was when I first did Pro-Am to where it is now, it is impressive, right? I mean, in Pro-Am, I think they were pulling individual feeds from like 50 people, and that's how we were commentating.
Yeah.
Was Pro-Am named Pro-Am because it's pros and amateurs?
Well, it was called Pro-Am because it was the celebrity Pro-Am. So like,
But I don't know what
AMs are
Pro-Am
the
means.
amateurs. Pro-Am is
professional amateur?
professionals, the amateurs. But when they say a celebrity Pro-Am, then it'll mean like pros paired with celebrities.
Right. Okay.
So, so I guess basically like the point here is I think that it could be very beneficial for Fortnite. My thing is like I'm curious on like what comes next after the Fortnite World Cup, because this is like a very open-ended format, and and by that I mean it's like you play online, you like the whole goal of the Fortnite World Cup was that anyone can participate, right? And I would really like for them to kind of go into a world kind of like what Overwatch did, where they have the Overwatch World Cup and they have the Overwatch League, where like the league is like the best of the best, like no questions asked, you have to grind your butt to get there, whereas the World Cup's kind of like a little bit more like kind of committee driven and fan driven, and has that like fun social aspect to it. So I would really hope for the Fortnite World Cup to kind of become that, where it's like, yeah, anyone can compete, anyone can win, this is awesome, blah blah blah, but then there's like something else that like is more driven toward pro gameplay. I would like to see that happen.
I don't see how Fortnite could ever have a structure like the Overwatch will.
No. I wouldn't want it like
League.
the Overwatch League. I wouldn't want it. It should never be.
But I just mean like at all, where the best players are kept in a system and they're incentivized to play. Because if you're going to be a really good player in a game that's so outrageously popular, the monetization options for you outside of that, just for streaming, almost always going to be better than participating in the tournament, unless they're willing to fund unbelievable amounts of cash into the tournament. Yeah. It's so difficult. And then like if you had teams, if you had like franchise teams or something that had a bunch of different Fortnite players on, or however you wanted to make it work, each of those teams would really struggle to monetize, because they'd have to be paying their players outrageous salaries to try and compete with what they would do if they were just playing on Twitch. And then they wouldn't have the monetization options themselves, because the main source of monetization is directly from viewer to streamer via Twitch. It's so weird. Like once you hit a certain threshold, it's like esports can't catch up with streaming anymore. You just lose everybody.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
That's why I love it, actually. The Overwatch League players have such dribbly personalities, because they're never going to make mad money on Twitch. So they're just going to be trapped in Overwatch League forever. And they're going to be able to, we'll always be able to watch, these guys perform at their best, because they can't just earn mad money going into streaming instead.
Mm.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But you say that, but that's also kind of the case in Fortnite too. Right, like
Fortnite's got more personalities than Overwatch does. It's a guy called Vape Jesus or something. I don't know. He's like, that's my favorite name for anyone ever.
I know, and Vape I get to say that name like when I commentate him, like on occasion. It's great. It'd be like Vape Jesus right here. It's great. I love saying it. No, but the thing is that there are a lot of top players that do play Fortnite at a very high level that stream, but don't get nowhere near the audience.
Yeah.
Unless they get picked up by like a really big team, like there was like Dubs and Mega, they got picked up by FaZe. So, they kind of, and also Dubs has appeared which is crazy, by the way. So this kid, I forget how old he is. I think he's like 14 or something like that. He has played in every week of the Fortnite World Cup. We're in week 7. Of those 7 weeks, he has appeared in the top 10 in duos and solo, so alternating 5 times, which
That's
is
not bad.
Crazy.
That's pretty good.
Top 10, 5 times. Like, how is that even, like, for a game that everyone's like, it's random, there's RNG.
Well, there is RNG, but the more times you play, the more.
How the hell does this kid do that?
Yeah, I think that's a testament to how fucking good he is then, if he's consistently performing in the top 10. Like, it doesn't matter how many RNG elements there are in. If you play enough games, eventually you are going to rise the top,
like the cream,
just like me when I'm playing against Gesture. Cream of the crop, baby.
I love that you just took your persona from a wrestler. It was like, this is 2019 wrestler Bren.
And I thought it was great too, because they told you not to show the label on the
the logo.
But
of
it's
what?
So
of the cream?
Tiny of the cream, but it's so tiny.
Were you trying to
shot was so wide that they were not going to see the logo ever.
Yeah, I was worrying about it quite a lot. I had to hold it like right up here.
No, that's amazing. That makes the whole thing better.
Literally looked, and you could not see it. If you would have you had to like straight up put the logo on the camera.
Yeah.
And that would have been it. Like,
do you remember what company it was? Like, could you give them a shout out?
Nestle.
Was it? Lovely company.
Yeah, great humanitarian efforts from Nestle.
Yeah. Really love the way they deprive people of water. Yeah. Big fans. Yeah, so shout out to you, Nestle, for making great cream.
I'm pretty sure it was half and half. No.
Oh, was it?
It's probably.
Yeah. And here's my thing about half and half. Why doesn't it go bad? Does it go bad?
Are you for real? What? Half and half. So it means half cream, half milk, right?
Dude, they leave it out. They leave it out all day.
Okay, because it's like ultra high temperature or something. It's been like UHT treated, presumably, and so it can be kept inside the packet. But it would go off if you opened it up and just left it out, I'm sure.
Obviously, if you like opened it, I get that.
Well, it's sealed then, isn't it?
But I still think that's freaking wild, don't you think? Like,
I just assume they put some preservatives in it.
Have you ever been?
That's just what I think about the America.
Have you ever been to a grocery store and seen just boxes of milk They're not even kept chilled. They're just boxed
Yeah,
milk.
yeah.
It's UHT milk. Ultra high temperature treated milk. No, not pasteurized. UHT.
Pasteurized milk, right?
No.
It's
ultra pasteurization.
I still think it's crazy that we can do that. I think it's crazy that like Twinkies could survive for years and years and years.
Can they? I think that's a myth.
No, hold on. Do Twinkies go bad?
That's a myth.
Why do you say? I don't even know what a Twinkie is. Can you explain?
You don't know what a Twinkie is?
It's like an M&M, right?
No.
It's an M&M's like a little chocolate covered.
You know,
Let me describe
Like-
to you the sultry deliciousness of a Twinkie.
Don't go that far.
A Twinkie. Think of an amazing fluffy pastry.
Ooh,
right?
Ooh, yeah.
And
oh boy.
And when you bite into it, every bite is like a new experience, you know?
Yeah.
But as you're biting into it, right at the middle, there's some cream.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a cream pastry.
Shut up. It's some delicious cream. And
Oh
it
no, wait!
gushes-
I think I hate that cream.
gushes all over your mouth. So good. And that is a Twinkie, man.
Mm, okay.
Oh yeah.
So you straight up go down.
Oh fuck this!
Walgreens, go get a Twinkie.
All right, Johnny, not a
It
big
looks
fan
like
of Twinkies.
miniature bread.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
not,
like a
it's not for
miniature-
me.
Yeah.
It's a lot
It
of corn
looks like-
syrup in it. It's a lot of corn syrup.
Looks like fish sticks, but it's cake.
Oh, it's a sponge cake with cream inside of it.
Yeah. What? I can't remember what we were talking about.
Yo, why you gotta like just minimize it? You know, like
Well, because they don't look that good, honestly. A lot of snacks like that, and basically anything that requires baking in America is terrible.
Well, anyway, Twinkies have an indefinite shelf life.
Hmm.
That
I don't
is-
think they do.
that is a fact.
What do you mean by a
Also-
fact? Do you mean as in
Shelf
it's
After
life.
the baking
true?
process of the
A
sponge
common
cake
urban
portion-
legend claims that Twinkies have an infinite shelf life and can last unspoiled for a relatively long time of 10, 15, or 100 years due to the chemicals used in production. Homage, was it homage?
An homage.
I should not be Jamie. To the unlimited shelf life urban myth appears in the film WALL-E, where the title character's pet cockroach is shown eating its way into the cream filling at one end and emerging out the other, none the worse for wear.
Well,
That
I don't think a
experience.
cockroach would be worse for wear anyway. I think cockroaches can eat
I don't
most
know
of
how
stuff.
that. No, I don't know.
Oh my
The
God.
cockroaches are actually kind of wild. Do you know about?
I'm gonna
do you
put
know
this in the
about
doc.
cockroaches?
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
No,
I'm
I
gonna-
don't know about cockroaches. What?
They
I
can
found
survive
that-
some crazy shit.
I found a link. for the
Twinkies are on the
Twinkie.
shelf for a short time. Twinkies on the shelf, no more than 7 to 10 days.
37-year-old Twinkie.
All right, what's this? 37-year-old Twinkie, world oldest, still a sweet treat at Blue Hill School. What
Would you
the-
eat that? That thing is fucking browned up.
Yo, that actually looks horrific.
Yeah.
So
That looks brutal.
there's a maxim.
Now,
that
having said
says
that, there's
one
no
treat.
mold growing on it,
Yeah.
but the interior is cream. I mean, that sounds like it would go off.
So this Twinkie has been a school fixture at the George Stevens Academy, and mind you, this article was written November 1st, 2012.
Yeah, on the Bangor
Okay.
Daily News, which is where I like to get all of my my news
Bangor
from.
Daily News.
Yeah, I think reputable source for sure.
1976. I want to find out what happened to the GSA Twinkie.
What are we talking about? This is. Can we talk about machine learning instead?
You can talk about whatever you'd like to, Jonathan.
I feel like it's run its course on Twinkies.
Yeah.
Possible.
Maybe it
Yeah.
has.
There
So
you
let's
go.
talk about the rise of machine learning, and whoever wrote this in can talk about it.
Wasn't
it was
it-
probably Josh.
No, it wasn't me. It was
it
of
was
course,
me,
it was
actually.
Bren. Bren has a thing where he just loves it. But is this spurred from the article or whatever you looked at yesterday that we were discussing while we were having some drinks about the fact that they can now make a video from a still image?
Kind of. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. I've been mulling it over in my head, and
Okay.
I'm wondering. I always wonder how my parents or older people just can't really keep up with technology, and they just kind of shun it almost. And
like Alex, when we were trying to set up this podcast and he couldn't get his camera to work.
Alex, you're approaching like what, 58? You couldn't get your webcam working to set up the podcast. You know,
so darn technology.
And I reflected on myself and my responses and my the way I was reacting to the machine learning algorithms and neural networks and what they're doing with that sort of industry, artificial intelligence. That's sort of that side of it. And I realized I was an old person shunning away the internet. That's the
what do you mean? Whoa, no. What are you talking about?
As in, like, I was shunning it because I'm scared of the ramifications of it.
There are some things you should be scared of. Like, for example, when nuclear technology first came out, it wasn't Luddite you weren't being a Luddite if you just decided, oh, you know, this actually might be quite bad for the world. Like, I might be scared.
Yeah, but I realized a lot of it was just unfounded. It was based off of nothing but just superstition and worry.
Okay, what were your main fears?
Evidence in court. You can't use video evidence, picture evidence anymore.
Yeah.
And how you have to catch up with that. I'm actually worried as well about how more and more we're finding algorithms to distill down what the average plebeian really likes and enjoys in media.
Are they worried they'll figure you out?
Not figure me out, but I'm worried. I'm worried about like how eventually all entertainment is just going to be dictated by this algorithm. And that's pretty much it. And creativity is just gone.
Sure.
Well, we've been doing that for years, though.
Sorry, Alex.
Have we?
Go. No,
this is where Goldenboy unleashes the fact that he has actually been a cybernetic organism this entire time. And when he says we have been doing this for years, he thought we were all in on it.
No. We've been determining what, you know, people enjoy through like research and polling and all that stuff for a very long time. We've always done this. It's just now what we're doing is getting rid of the human element and just making it more of a robotic experience, which is, you know, I don't think it's better, but we've been doing this for a long time. People say they don't like certain things, and then that impacts the way that people present things later on.
Sure.
You know, the way, like, you think about politicians, you know, they would do like, how do they call those things? Like surveys with a bunch of potential constituents, and they would just be like, hey, how do you feel about this politician? And then someone would be like, oh, I hate that guy, or oh, I love that guy, or, you know, and we've been doing that forever. So, well, I mean, it's just now we found a way to automate it. So that
I kind of feel like
scary, I guess, but
I kind of feel like the human element, though. I like the fact that there's polling, because you can't take it entirely seriously. Whereas with an algorithm that's kind of determining what people are exactly interested in, that is like it's very black and white.
What do you mean? What? I'm so you're inventing something that doesn't exist and could never exist, and saying this would be a disaster. Like, you could never get an algorithm that would know black and white what people would want and what people wouldn't want.
I think eventually we will get to that point.
No. You wouldn't be able to do that because humans don't know what they want and don't want. And it's not really based on their rational mind as well.
Right, yeah, it's not based off a rational mind. This is why you take polls with a grain of salt. But I think the biggest argument for it, you need to only look at Netflix right now and the state of them, because they have an algorithm that takes into account everyone's watching habits. And that's what they use to determine as well what new shows they make.
And that's what people do on YouTube and all sorts everywhere.
Don't watch the shows if you don't like them.
I mean, yeah.
They're missing out on your view.
But the thing is this, Bren, is that there are some things that can be determined with data, and there are other things that simply will never be able to be determined with data. For example, comedy. You cannot like go to someone, bust out a computer and then have that computer tell someone a joke and then be like, this joke is objectively funny, and thus everyone who listens to this joke will, you know, enjoy it and laugh. It's just not possible. It's in the delivery. It's in the human element of the delivery.
Yeah,
right?
I reckon we're getting to that point.
No. You're not listening to what Alex is saying. It's not even possible, because what people find funny is based on their past experience, their history, their culture growing up, all of this stuff. So for something to be objectively, even if you found something, some way of making something objectively funny for someone, that wouldn't carry to everybody. It couldn't.
But there's definitely ways to find out what the common majority would find funny, and I feel like it's just gonna. I feel like in the year 2040, comedy is gonna be distilled down to just fart jokes.
So I'm
really quite scared.
What in the world? No.
What?
No. So what you're saying is
scared that we're gonna get to this point.
no. So what you're saying is that they'll cater to like a large demographic, right?
Yeah.
But they won't specialize in your sense of humor. So if they started producing that type of content, that would almost like guaranteed not to be your peak favorite comedy ever. And so essentially, even if they try to cater to large demographics, they wouldn't necessarily be like the 1% that you like. Like, it'd be good content, but it could never be the best Bren and Hook content ever, because they had to cater to so many people.
I just don't like fart jokes, Johnny.
Neither do I, but you wouldn't
That's
watch
the
it.
thing. But there's a lot. I love fart jokes, right? So for me, it makes perfect sense that I enjoy a good dick and fart joke. I think it's hilarious. But
Together,
Americans have piss poor sense of humor. Like,
that's not true at all. I enjoy British comedy quite a bit, sir. I would have you know. And I don't speak Swedish, so I don't know what kind of jokes you're having about fishes.
They actually haven't invented jokes in Sweden yet. It's coming sometime in the 21st century.
That's why I never laugh at Josh.
What I'm saying is that is there a way for people to, through algorithms and technology, be able to determine what you may like? Sure. Like, for example, I've been researching a lot about 60% compact mechanical keyboards. Like, I've really been into that, and like customizing keyboards and stuff. So because of that, because I searched for it on my phone, my Instagram now shows me a bunch of things from Mashdrop, or shows me a bunch of things from Ducky and stuff like that, right? And that's fair. I'm not interested in those keyboards in particular, but hey, they're there, right? And like, I'm seeing it, and it's a part of the whole algorithm of understanding what a consumer wants. And that is something that can be a little bit more black and white, because a purchase is something definitive. And when you make a purchase, you're saying like, okay, I'm using my money and I'm acquiring this item. Thus, that means that I want this item. But comedy is not like that at all. There is no transaction on comedy. The only transaction is a laugh, and that is like a purely like subjective thing.
You can measure it though.
People found us at World Cup to be hilarious, but there were a bunch of other people who freaking hated us.
Yeah. So you can measure it though. Like, all it takes is enough information over time and a model of which to process it, and you can accurately come up with an algorithm to base off what humor is.
But like, that's
subjectively
unfair. That's an unfair comparison though. Because you're literally just saying that there will, or like, for every response that any of us would have, you're literally just going to say they're going to come up with something that's going to solve this problem.
Quote, it's not a problem.
What I hear you saying here is essentially a good comparison would be like food. You'd be like, oh, eventually they would come up with the best dish in the world that would cater to so many people and everyone would love it. But even despite them coming up with that food, there's still so much other food out in the world that you would still want at another point in time, or maybe you just prefer that overall over the food.
I'm not saying eventually there's going to be one style of comedy that everyone must adhere to, otherwise you are sentenced to death. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I'm worried about the idea of these algorithms becoming more and more part of our society and culture, which they already are, that people don't realize. And eventually it's going to just dictate really what the most common content is created across the board.
Oh, so that's Bren. Resist. Hashtag resist. That already happens on YouTube. Like, the people who are trying to get big on YouTube look at what the trends are, and the YouTube algorithm promotes things that it thinks are popular. And so the algorithm is trying to promote what people are clicking on, and so that it's chasing the clicks, and the people creating are chasing the algorithm. So you can get just feedback loops where people are creating stuff because they think the algorithm will favor it, and then the algorithm favors it because people are making it, and the audience meanwhile is just left thinking like, oh, what the fuck's, why are there so many of these videos suddenly being created? Like, but
Sure. And is that not a problem?
It's not that much of a problem.
I mean,
Because
you're
at
literally
the end of the
arguing
day-
against trends.
At the end of the day, it just comes down to the market forces. If people don't want to watch it, they won't watch it. If people do want to watch it, they'll watch it. If there's enough content being created, that always solves itself.
I don't have a lot of faith in people.
You don't need faith in people. And frankly, your dystopian fart joke reality, I don't think is ever going to happen.
I mean,
I don't
none
know,
of us
man.
have faith
I don't know.
in people. Like, I mean, that is a fundamental flaw, right? In our society, is that at times we do have faith in, you know, our institutions. We have faith in the system. We have faith in, you know, the technology that we use, and it's everything just sucks, and you know, honestly, it just blows. It sounds really horrible, but it's just a fact. But the thing is,
Cracking open a cold and watch boys, official sports video watch league.
but the thing is that, like, you know, you have to remember that when it comes down to the way of which we kind of like put out, you know, new content, or the way that we distribute new content, I mean, people are just going to enjoy the things that they enjoy, like Fortnite. Fortnite was just a massive, you know, thing. Everyone wanted Fortnite videos. I could have made the greatest Halo video of all time, but it didn't matter because people just wanted to watch Fortnite content because that's what people were interested in. That was the trend. And YouTube was like, oh, hey, I'm going to go ahead and put this like all the way at the top because everyone wants to watch Fortnite right now. Sorry, fam, your Halo video, dope, but ain't no one going to see it besides your subs. That's just it. That's just the nature of the beast.
Mate, Johnny's absolutely losing it. He's gone. He's actually done. And I don't even know. I think it's about cracking open a Coca-Cola. I think one Coca-Cola has broken him, has absolutely snapped his psyche.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just lost it. I'm sorry, Goldenboy.
No, I know. I mean, honestly,
He's crying
none
over
of
a
this-
Coca-Cola.
none of like
It's
I
real
just
hot
feel
in
like Bren's answer to everything is just that they're going to make it, and thus there's nothing we can do.
But Bren's opener as well is, I'm not concerned about machine learning. I'm starting to enjoy it. I realized it was because I was part of the older generation that I'm
actually
scared of it. So you're not arguing against yourself the entire time.
I think there's a possibility that we could have the fart joke dystopia. The chances are it's probably not the case. The biggest argument for it is, as I've already pointed out, Netflix and the way that they go around creating content.
Do you think Netflix is devolving into fart jokes?
No, they're just finding out what's popular and they're just making that
But
shit.
Netflix is literally doing what a YouTuber does.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
do we think that there could be negatives with it?
I mean, I don't think so. You know, because if people are enjoying it, then it's not a negative.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, how much time have you spent on TikTok?
I've never. Okay, so here's the thing. There are very few things in this world. Like, I consider myself very forward thinking, and I check out all the new apps and whatever I can. But let me tell you, dude, I don't get it. I simply do not get the idea of me pointing a camera at myself in a public space and lip syncing to a fucking song.
Yeah. I mean,
don't get it.
It's definitely a younger generation thing, but the algorithm on TikTok that recommends me videos, it obviously bases this information off of a bunch of things that I found out. So when I was in the UK, it recommended me a lot of content creators in the UK. So what I get school children punching the shit out of each other in the playgrounds.
Wait, but is it to music though? I thought the whole thing was to music.
To music, but it was just like kids just like literally like throwing each other into bins and other stuff. Just like school kids. And now that I'm over here, it's Valley Girls lip syncing to Ariana Grande and other shit. It's like it changes based off your location. So it recommends you, the algorithm changes based off what it thinks people in that area like, and it knows that based off retention rates from when you're flicking through different TikToks.
So which city has the best algorithm?
I don't know because I haven't been to every city in the world. But what I do know is that that is one of the signs that I got thinking of, like, oh shit, this is actually potentially pretty bad, because like it was just recommending absolute horseshit content on a regular basis to
I
me.
love that Gloucester, it's decided people in Gloucester, what they love the most, what the content they want to see more than anything else is like bear baiting, like dog fighting, but with small children in the playground.
Pretty much. That's the one that gets the most retention.
Was it entertaining?
And travelers in caravans lip syncing.
Okay.
I mean, so I guess then your problem is geolocation content recommendation.
Yeah. Oh, maybe even just the algorithms at fault in that case.
I don't even think Bren knows what the problem is.
I don't think there is a problem.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, I imagine that is working for their demographic. The one thing that TikTok doesn't take into account is the age of the person viewing. So it was recommending the average population.
I think it sucks though that like you can't see kids punching each other and stuffing one another in trash cans, and then you just keep getting Valley Girl.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of sad. I've stopped using TikTok now because of it. When I was back in the UK, every night my routine would be I go to bed, I whip open TikTok.
Whoa! Hey, whoa!
I'd open up TikTok and I just scroll through it, and it'll be a bunch of school kids just Fortnite dancing and throwing each other into bins. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is my kind of content, baby. Let's get it. It reminds me of when I was a youth. Back in the day, in the playgrounds, we're just fucking around.
I
thought it was Overwatch
Southeast
time,
Asia.
Yeah, back in Southeast Asia when I was drinking the snake wine. Sipping at that.
How did you have time when you were 14 to travel around Southeast Asia?
So my grandmother,
when you're 14, you're in school 14, and shit.
It was during the summer holidays. But my grandmother, because I grew up in a council estate, like the equivalent of the projects in the US, my grandmother saved up a bunch of money because she didn't want me to just stay in the council estates my entire life. So she raised a bunch of money and saved.
And you're like, oh, I just want to be in Gloucester and watch TikTok.
No. But she wanted to show me the world outside of Innsworth.
She was like Princess Jasmine to your Aladdin.
She wanted to,
you were Princess Jasmine, actually.
She wanted to show me different cultures to open my eyes to the fact that there is more to the world than just corner shops and drinking in a park. So, and it worked, to be fair, I think.
Apparently that movie is great. Like the remade one. The real-time one. Or whatever it's called.
Great?
Yeah, it has Will Smith in it. Of course it's going to be great.
I mean, it doesn't look like great.
Oh my god, I can just imagine Josh watching that movie and not liking Will Smith's sense.
Josh, do you like movies? Because I've never even heard you talk about a movie.
Listen, Aladdin is a fantastic, incredible creation. And to try and replace Robin Williams as the genie when Robin Williams hard carried the shit out of that movie, and it's one of the greatest performances by anybody, any voice actor of all time, that's going to be a difficult one for me. And I can't really see Will Smith in the role. I don't know how, and everything that was leaked looked pretty terrible. So forgive me for having a little bit of skepticism about the fact that a fucking live-action version of an incredible, probably top 2 Disney movie of all time.
I feel like you're too attached to your Disney movies.
Yeah, it's not Disney, actually. The reason that I love that is it's one of the most incredible Robin Williams performances, up there with, Dead Poets Society and Good Will Hunting, probably.
I'm sorry, I don't know voice acting well enough to,
No, I'm not saying
best acting.
Robin Williams wasn't just a voice actor; he was live acting in both of those other movies. I'm just saying his voice acting role in Aladdin was just incredible, unbelievable. The guy's got the improvisation chops of a genius and just owned the role, dominated the movie. They didn't want he also didn't want them to use him in advertising for it as well. Got in a big fight with Disney over it.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Yeah, wow, I did not know that.
Look it up, Jamie. Pull it up.
But
why do you like Disney movies so much?
We should
Goldenboy. Yeah.
No, but that being said, though, I'm just saying that I don't think it's going to be that bad because it's a different take. That's all I'm saying. It's just a different take. I don't think these movies were meant to be a one-to-one remake. I think they were meant to just be like a new kind of like modern take onto the onto the genre, onto these films.
But the original,
look at the Jungle Book. Jungle Book was phenomenal.
Oh, but again, they're the same shit, Goldenboy. They're remakes of the Disney movies because they're tapping into nostalgia of people that enjoyed the Disney movie. They're not remakes of the original story. The original Jungle Book, Rudyard Kipling, and the original Aladdin, the stories are so different from the Disney remakes that you could have gone in a different direction with them. I mean, Aladdin's fucking Chinese in the original version, I think, rather than being placed, I don't know, somewhere in India, presumably in the what do you call it, the Disney one. What?
They should have called it the original. They should have called it Classic Aladdin.
But
yeah, the setting is moved from China to fictional Arabian city of Agrabah.
Oh yeah,
structure of the
just
plot
somewhere in Arabia. Yeah. Okay. So, but they could have gone so many different places with it if they actually wanted to make it new and to take it away from the Disney movie. But they're just trying to capitalize on the nostalgia of all the people that loved it when they were young. It's classic Hollywood remake problem, where they just remake things and make sequels for things instead of
if it's a shit
creativity.
poor movie, then it will get bad box office.
No,
sales.
it won't, because people market it well enough that people will turn up and watch it anyway. Because people don't have the integrity to wait for things that are classic.
IMDb or Rotten
Do you know what?
Tomatoes.
I've been brought around to Bren's point of view. The fucking algorithms have told them to remake Aladdin because people loved Aladdin, and now people are going and watching Aladdin, and it's taking money away from what could have been fantastic original creative works. And
But you can
Bren,
just
down with the
downvote
machines.
it,
Hashtag
forehead.
eat the rich. What do you mean? I mean, people poorly rate movies all the time. Sequels get poorly rated, but because they do well in the box office, they still get produced. They still get made.
Hashtag eat the rich.
Yeah, consume the bourgeoisie.
You just our first episode we talked about fermented shark.
I'll tell you what, the rich will taste better than fermented shark.
Rich. Wealthy cannibalism.
Yes.
What else the hell? I think we did talk about Fortnite.
A tiny bit.
I mean, I tell you what, this is a great Overwatch podcast.
Yeah, we mentioned Nate Nance's name once. I think that's about as close as we got to Overwatch.
I think we nailed it, honestly. Go out on a high note. That's what I say.
Yeah.
God,
Just
Brett.
as an alternate, just to this isn't even related to any of your
Been a
points.
disaster.
But I was curious. I was looking at the algorithms and your most popular videos, Josh, and it all involves me getting tilted.
There you go. Well, but is that for you or is that for anybody? Because I can see why YouTube would want to recommend such a career narcissist such as yourself videos of himself.
Makes sense.
So maybe if normal people are going on YouTube.
I'm just looking at your YouTube channel and looking at the top viewership.
Oh, you mean just of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, apparently I can just farm you for content. You're predictably annoyed whenever I frustrate you.
Yeah, so your most popular videos about how you got kicked out of medical school.
Really?
Which,
Yeah, 73K.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
I don't see where Bren appears on any of these.
Bren did not lead to me getting
Bren
kicked
at
out of medical
maximum
school.
tilt. Bren, you didn't even hit 50K. So let's chill.
Oh my god. Not
I
even
mean,
50K?
I don't really care. for hitting
Absolute
numbers.
plebeian.
I'm just saying, like it's weird how that's one of the most popular videos.
Is it strange? Is it?
No, not really. We need to wrap it up. Mitch Leslie has been waiting for us for years.
Oh, really?
All right. Okay. Well, Goldenboy, do you wanna retrieve your hosting duties?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So this was a thing that we all lived through. I think it worked. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, make sure you tweet at BrenCast.
Yep, tweet at
And
me
let
if you
him know.
I'll
that
tell you to
did
fuck
not
off.
enjoy this. And
Hashtag fuck the algorithm.
yeah. Hashtag eat the rich. Hashtag resist.
Yeah.
And hashtag fuck the algorithm. I don't know what we are.
I'm
we
tweeting
are
that
not
right now.
We're
Hashtag
not going to make it to another episode.
fuck the algorithm.
Fuck the algorithm. Let's see. I'm curious how many tweets that gets. All right. So that's going to do it. We will be live again one day.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's me streaming, so look out for that. It's gonna be good.
yes, there you go. So Bren will be the one handling it, and the show will be on everyone's individual channels each and every week. So it'll be on Sideshow's channel, Bren's channel, Johnny's channel, my channel, and then that's where you guys can go ahead and watch it. So if you enjoyed it, let me know at Goldenboy FTW. If you didn't enjoy it, let Bren know at Brencast. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Godspeed, because you're going to need it. You made it. You made it to the end.